This is the Yes Network right here. Phantom Acts of Kindness hooking us up right here.
Yeah, he's excelled at every level, and they told this kid, hey, you have the opportunity to win the job in camp. So, like, you got to put Judge in this category. When you're talking about the most impressive season since, like, you got to put A-Rod, like, format. This first year, the new format, the Beast of the East, the Yankees crushed the best division in baseball. McPherson, WFAN, on stage.
Hey, Keith Mack, man, big fan.
And we're going live. Let me make sure my watch is correct here. Let me make sure my time is right. And you already know, once we get a couple people in the chat, I got to hit you with that ear. These Oris watches. I got to talk to the folks at Oris because I set the watch, I wear it, and then I come back to wear it again, and I'm like, the time ain't right. What am I doing wrong? So it is now officially 5 p.m. live at 5. Thanks for joining me. It is now actually 5:04. I set my watch at 5:05. And today is the 13th. I'll fix that later when we go out tonight. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for pulling up. Whoever you are, wherever you are, I appreciate you. For the purpose of this stream, we're going to go quick, and then at the end, we'll hit the chat. I got to be hard out at 6 o'clock. Got to go pick up my son. Shout out to Jackson McPherson, who is 2 years and 9 months today, the best 2 years and 9 months of my life by far. So, without further ado, one stream, 1 hour, one take from each NFL wildcard game. I think we got to start with, do we go in order of the games? I guess Rams Panthers. Let's go in order of the games. Let's go Rams Panthers. That game was first. I was down with my mom and in the Jersey Shore area, and I started watching this game on my phone. I drove home and listened to WFAN's Westwood One broadcast of it, and then I finally got my son in the shower, and it was like, I don't know, like 7 o'clock, and I was watching it once I got back to the crib. It was a good game. It was an exciting game, but like I said, I'm going to do one take. Shout out to AJ Bianco for reposting the stream. Appreciate you, brother. I see you, and I see the support consistently. I'm not going to get into Matthew Stafford hurting his hand. I'm not going to get into the Panthers. I'm not going to get into the decisions on 4th down. I'm not going to get into Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams. Excuse me, still getting over that cold. But like I said, for the purpose of this, one take and one take from each game, I just wanted to pick one thing and go in on that. So here's what I like the most from that game. Cam Newton. Cam Newton had a little bit of beef with David Tepper and the Carolina Panthers organization, and I thought it was awesome that they brought Cam back.
Quarterback to take him to the playoffs.
I thought it was awesome that Cam got to do the keep pounding and beating the drum. It was finally like they gave him his flowers. I felt like Cam Newton, it was a long time coming for Cam to get the opportunity to step back on that field where he won an MVP, step back on that field where he dominated, and get the love from the crowd. He also did a 4th and 1 tailgate for his podcast. And let me see something here, because I don't think we're properly in the spot that I want to be. There we go. Adding that to the stage now. Cam Newton coming out on the field. Long hair, don't care. And like, yo, you want to talk about keep pounding? If he keeps pounding this drum, it's going to break. I mean, you've seen everybody do this. I've seen Steph Curry go out there and do this. He's from that area. He was trying to break that damn drum. So one take from that game. The Panthers should not have been hosting a game with that terrible record. We shouldn't have an 8-9 team hosting a playoff game. But I love that they brought Superman back. Dab on him. Cam Newton got the opportunity to get his flowers and, come back to the place that he was a king. You just love to see people kind of give people their flowers and their respect. Cam Newton, an all-time great, somebody who deserves to be in their pantheon, in their ring of honor with their greats. Like they show Luke Kuechly. I think Steve Smith came out and took the mic. So all in all, with that game, the Rams were supposed to win. I know that the Panthers beat them in the regular season in that same place, but no way were the Rams supposed to lose that game to the Panthers. There were points in the season where folks talked about the Rams being the best team in the league. So like I said, one take from each game in that stream. My one take from that game was good that Cam got to come back and get his flowers. So Scott Engel says, Cam has always been great to the fans in Carolina, especially to the kids and special needs people. Yeah, he's big in the community. I always remember that commercial where the young kid is getting his arm loose and he's like, when I grow up, I could take your job. It sucks. He'll always be remembered for not jumping on that fumble. But Cam Newton, I think, is on his way back to being an icon there, as he should. He's on ESPN. If you saw him in Pittsburgh yesterday on First Take, his podcast is great, 4th and 1. He does great content. He finds ways to go viral. And yeah, from that one game, the Rams beating the Panthers 34-31. Matthew Stafford throwing interceptions. Shout out to J.C. Horn. Shout out to Mike Jackson. Shout out to Dave Canales and Bryce Young and Teteroa McMillan. Close, but not close enough. This year, good on them as far as winning that division barely and getting to host a playoff game. But they were not supposed to advance. They were not supposed to do anything more than that. So let's move on. The next game that I got to speak on, Packers versus the Bears. Okay, listen, folks. That was the game of the week. That was the most exciting game. If you are someone that follows me on YouTube, I think I was live on Twitter. I know I was live on TikTok, but I was live on Assist. Shout out to the good folks at Live on Assist. We did the game full stream live. I watched the whole game. I did some commentary on it, and I'll play some of that commentary for you now, and then I'll get into my one take, my one thing from that game that I wanted to talk about. I had the Bears the whole way, and if you watch here, I think I say I want the Bears to do it. I want the Bears to win.
Table. That's too easy, bro.
It's all day.
And this is a huge rivalry. This is like a 100-year rivalry, Packers-Bears. I want to see the Bears do it.
The personality.
I want to see the Bears do it.
I'm a content creator.
Ooh, picked off. Interception.
We'll skip through.
Oh! He's got hella time. This is the last play. Game. The Bears. Chicago Bears. Bear down. The Bears have done it. The Bears have.
Good for the Bears. Good for the city of Chicago. I have a ton of friends in Chicago through my fan cave experience. If you're also on YouTube, I have been rolling out the old videos from the MLB fan cave experience that I put out in 2019. I did a 5-year look back in 2019 at the MLB fan cave experience. So if you're on my YouTube channel, those 3 videos, it's a 3-part series, debuted, and they're on there. I just feel like every year that we get further away from 2014, less people know about what the Fan Cave is, and I feel like it's my personal duty as a product of the Fan Cave, alumni of the Fan Cave, to kind of keep that alive. And shout out to my boy Mike, shout out to my boy Stanton, and all of their friends that I've met the times that I've gone to Chicago. I went there to see the Cowboys play the Bears on Thursday Night Football in 2015. They've come a long way, and I say that to say this. My one take from that game is all based around one Ben Johnson. What does he say? Good, better, best. Never let it rest. I love Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson was one of the top candidates out there last year in the coaching cycle. And we'll get to Mike Tomlin. We'll get to John Harbaugh before I get out of here. But Ben Johnson, coming from Detroit, they certainly miss him. Ben Johnson got a lot of flack for the way that he handled these three things. And we'll start first with the handshake. I had no problem with this. I had absolutely no problem with this handshake. I did not have a problem with this at all. So Ben Johnson, if you watch him, he slides in at midfield. That's a handshake. He did not look him in the eye. He looked his like assistant in the eye. But you know what? Listen, folks, it's a rivalry. It's Chicago. That rivalry, if you remember, during the draft, Clay Matthews comes out and he's presenting for the Packers, and he comes out with a sign, and the sign says, "The Bears still suck." That beef is over 112 years. That rivalry, like, the Giants have a rivalry with the Dallas Cowboys. I guess the Eagles would be their stiffest rival. It ain't like that. The Jets have a rivalry with the Patriots, but it's one-sided. It's been one-sided for a while with Aaron Rodgers, Mr. Discount Double Check, Aaron Rodgers owning the Bears. But, I said on the stream before, Aaron Rodgers is not there. And now it's time for Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson, and the Bears to get their get back. So, one, I had no problem with this handshake. Now, a lot of people had something to say about the locker room. And I feel like some people miss this. And I feel like if you see this, you got to understand. No, not this. If you see this, you got to understand Ben Johnson is a kid. I mean, he's a grown man, and I know people have said a lot about how you got to handle yourself. But he was so happy-go-lucky, man. That's the largest comeback in the history of Chicago Bears playoffs. That was improbable. You got to see this if you miss this. This guy ended up on his ass. This guy was celebrating after the game on his field with his team. Look at this. Happy-go-lucky. Whoop. Whoop. Took a tumble. Get him up, coach. Get him up. That's euphoria. You're a first-year head coach, your first playoff game at home. You come back to beat McManus and Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur. I have no problem with this, man. I have no problem with this guy being happy. I have no problem with this guy celebrating. I have no problem with, last but not least, this thing that's been getting a lot of conversation the last couple of days where I just was like, whatever, eventually I'll speak on it. Let me set this up so you can hear the volume. I have no problem with this because, again, it's a rivalry. We need rivalries in sports. You guys want to be so serious about everything. Be serious about a rivalry. Be serious about beef. Be serious about I don't fuck with you. Be serious about who you're going up against. Now let's hit play on this.
You go into the tournament coming off of 2 losses, man. You go in the tournament off of 2 losses. You look up at halftime in this game, and it's 21-3.
No panic.
No panic. None of it built for pressure. That's you guys.
Hey, good, better, best. Never let it rest. All right, I gotta play when he does that, right?
First one. All right.
Let's get to it. Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson.
You make sure when you talk to the media, you talk to them how this crowd tonight.
The crowd that stayed there in the cold.
Man, I'm so proud of you guys. To do what you just did, I said it at halftime, right? This is one that you'll never
This is
forget.
what they're building. This is their culture there.
All right? Bring it on in.
This is important. I love this.
Good, better, best. Good, better, best. Never let it rest. Never let it rest. Good gets better. Good gets better. Good better gets better. Good better gets better. There's on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Come on, man. Y'all don't love that? You ever been in a locker room? You ever play for a team? You ever have a coach that cared that much? I saw the segment on, I guess, NFL Live or whatever it was, where he took that from his high school.
his high school coach started that good, better, best, never let it rest, that chant. And now the Bears do it, and some of their players said it was cheesy at first, but then it started working. The cardiac Bears, never say die, come back and win. Caleb Williams, #1 overall pick, who they made the move to get. They moved on from Justin Fields. Now it has all materialized, and if you're a fan, especially here in New York, you ever hear me on WFAN say, stay down till you come up? You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Clip that. Clip that. Clip that. As we proceed, let's say what's up to some people in the chat. Obviously, appreciate y'all in here. I am dressed up, not because I went on an interview. I have had a few interviews. I have had a few conversations. I am extremely blessed and highly favored, and I thank God for that. But tonight is Bernie Williams' performance at the Carnegie Hall. So when this stream ends, I will go get my son, wait for my wife to get home from work, and then I will take the train in. To the chat, Rob says, congrats, man. Good to see you doing your thing. Rob, thanks, bro. Life is good, sleeping good, working out, and just now really taking a full look at the space that I'm in, who I've become, what I've built, and what I can do next. And like I said, I'm blessed and highly favored. I'm very thankful for the opportunities that are coming my way. Cam has always been great. The fan, we did Scott. We hit Scott. I knew Ray was in here. Ray, what's up, bro? There you go, eating a few. I will be okay. Ray said he had to, eat dinner or whatnot, and I appreciate Ray giving us some time. You're looking fly. What up, KM? Should the Jets fire Glenn because the coaching pool is so large now? We will get to Mike Tomlin. We will get to John Mara and John Harbaugh. What I will say is this: of course, the Giants are in a situation, right, where they can't screw this up. I don't think Tomlin is going to jump right into the coaching space, but he could be convinced. I think he's going to do the TV thing for a year like Sean Payton. I'll get to him in a second. But the Jets are stuck on stupid. Yes, the New York Football Jets, the Gotham City Jets, Woody Johnson's Jets are like, nah, we're good. All of these good coaches out there, Kevin Stefanski, Mike McCarthy, John Harbaugh, we're good. We're good with Aaron Glenn. So, hey. It is what it is. Scott Angle gave some love to Mike Jackson, really went on a heck of a run late in the season and playoffs, very aggressive. Yeah, I like that guy's story. He's gritty, he's raw, and he definitely made some plays. Crazy Game walked away 21-9, only to come back soon after to see 30-27 and Pack driving for the win. Nuts. Yeah, McManus, dude, he left the door open. McManus got to retire. Christian, good evening. Good evening, my friend. Peter says, great evening. I am live this Wednesday, 9:50 a.m. Great, Keith, great outfit. New Yankee Stadium scoreboard. Okay. Yes, I did see pictures that the Yankees are installing a new scoreboard. I'm not sure what the 9:50 Wednesday means. You're live. You're going to be doing a show. Send me the link. I'll come check it out. Lions lost big on Johnson and Ravens lost big on McDonald. Coordinators often fail as head coaches, so kudos to both. Yeah. I'll get to it. We'll do another stream on Mike McDonald and the Seahawks, but I really believe that Mike McDonald and the Seahawks they're going to walk into the Super Bowl. Defense travels. Defense wins championships. That defense is super tough. Who in the NFC is beating them? They've beat everybody. The Bears might not survive this week. The Rams, they beat them in Seattle. The Niners, they held them to 3 points 2 weeks ago. The Seahawks have it. We'll get there in a minute. Let me continue. Appreciate y'all here again. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and hit like. If you're on Twitter, just throw something in the chat. Retweet, share. Appreciate the love. A quick live at 5, one stream, 1 hour, one take from each NFL wildcard game. We've already hit Rams and Panthers. We've hit the Packers and the Bears. And so now I have to go and do what everybody else in media has done and talk about the woman who decided to greet Liam Cohen after the Jaguars lost to the Bills with kindness. She decided to greet him with respect. And I'll start off by bringing up my own tweet first. The Jaguars are in my heart. My first team that I ever, the first team that I ever saw play live was the Jacksonville Jaguars. When I was a little kid, before I started playing sports, my grandmother would take us in the summer. And you guys have probably heard me say this over and over again, but it gives me a little bit of a, I don't know, just like a window into what goes on down there that I think people don't necessarily have. They speak on these things. So what I'm saying is I have lived in Jacksonville, Florida. I have spent summers there as a kid. I am a God-fearing man and believe in God and was baptized in Jacksonville, Florida at the age of 8. I love the place for what it did for me as a person in my life. I love my grandmother for what she did for me as a person in my life. And when I went down there, it was Southern hospitality. As a kid from the North, spending summers in Jacksonville, I was taught to say, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, please and thank you. Props to this woman for being respectful after a season-ending loss, a good first season, the end, moving on. Now, obviously, I will go ahead and play this for you guys. I will go ahead and give you the audio. You've all heard it if you have internet access and you care about sports. But here it is. This is Lynn Jones, who I believe got to be the first person to speak, and she hit Liam Cohen after the game, and I'll add to this after I play it, but here it is.
I want to tell you, congratulations on your success, young man. Thank you. You hold your head up, all right? You guys have had a most magnificent season.
Thank you.
And you did a great job out there today.
Appreciate
so you
it.
just hold your head up, okay?
Thank
and
you,
ladies
ma'am.
and gentlemen, Duval, you the one, all right?
you, ma'am.
keep it going. We got another season, okay?
I appreciate
Take
it.
care and much continued success to you and the entire team.
Thank you, ma'am.
I love that. I love that. Now, I know there's going to be people saying, what do you love? It's not awesome. What do you love? This is what I love about it. She told the story, and let me see if I can give her. Let me play her story before I weigh in on it. It's only right, and because I have it here, I don't need to do it verbatim. Share, and yeah, let's make it a little larger, and let's hit play.
Right.
Yes.
You know, subscriptions going up for the Jacksonville Free Press.
Yes.
I mean, did you know this was going to throw you into the spotlight?
I did not. I really did not. I mean, it was a typical day. Go to the press box, and it was just an overwhelming day. I can tell you that this entire city, this town, our team, our city, and our coach, we were overwhelmed. I mean, and I really was not going to attend the press conference, but I left out. I was talking to a young man. I'm sure he know who he is, 23-year-old young man. We're just talking about the game. I'm telling him I'm from Michigan, this and that, and I'm giving him some words. He said, ma'am, he said, you need to go ahead and go attend the press conference. So I went back, I went down, went through how we maneuvered through, and I sat there, and everyone was back there, and then Coach, word up, Coach. So Coach came out, and his emotions, he was totally immersed, his feelings. He had tears, he bit his lip. And the issue is the question, not necessarily a question in the fourth quarter, in the fourth down, and the punt came through.
Right.
But my question was, keep your head up, young man. Yeah. Young man, this entire year, we have rooted for this team over more than 30 years. Do you understand what I'm saying? The stadium, the solemnness, we were rooting, I mean, it was packed. So he was like, yes, ma'am, thank you. So now I'm the new grandma.
Probably needed to hear it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the new auntie. And
So, Lynn, I do want to bring out, because this also has a lot of mixed emotions and how people are responding to
Yes,
this.
yes.
So Adam Schefter wrote, this is an awesome post-game exchange between a reporter and Jags head coach. But then Mark Long, who's an AP reporter, kind of went in on this.
Yes.
And he said nothing awesome about this, called you
Yes.
fake media,
Talk
said
to
that
me.
you shouldn't even have been up there asking those kind of questions.
Oh.
So when you
Oh.
heard that, how did that make you feel?
I don't take no offense to it. Listen, I've been in this business more than 25 years.
Okay, I think you guys get the point, and maybe you've heard that before, and I'll weigh in here. Shout out to Lynn Jones, who went on to talk about her credentials, her credibility. She absolutely does belong there. And what I loved that she shared was that she talked to a 23-year-old young man who I guess was a Jaguars fan, maybe worked for the Jaguars, and he's the one who said to her, you need to go on and go into that press conference. Man, everybody was there. That place was packed. They wanted to win. They could have won. The game ended on a tip ball interception. I know everybody wanted to talk about why'd you go for it on 4th and 2, but you know what? It was so nice to see somebody lead with kindness and respect. The rest of the reporters in there were going to do that. But you know what the issue is here? There's so much entitlement in the media and these media members because there's a war going on right now. Pat McAfee spoke on it. And before I show what Pat McAfee says, I can give you my own experience. This is a credential. This is a credential to go into Yankee Stadium and be in the press box, team clubhouse, media area. I'm not a reporter, but as a full-time radio host on WFAN and a Yankee fan that goes to all of the games, sometimes I might need to join Susan or Dave Sims on the call, or in the past I've done rain delay theater with Sweeney Murdy. I remember during the ALDS against the Guardians that day that they didn't play. Sweeney and I did like a 2-hour show there. Like, what I'm saying is there are times where I'll be needed. When John Sterling did his farewell, I came up there and was with John. So like, I am credentialed. I can enter Yankee Stadium in the past, no more. In the past, I could enter Yankee Stadium these last 4 years through the media entrance and not wait in line. That's the real only thing I use that credential for, because I felt this air of arrogance. I felt this air of entitlement. I felt this air of like, in the media area, right? I didn't belong. The media area is full of guys like John Heyman, who John Heyman I'll use as an example, because if you heard the viral interview with John Heyman and myself, before John tweaked, John said something to me along the lines of, you're not a journalist. You don't understand how any of this goes. Now, I admitted fault. I was joking with him, and we're not on a joking level. We're not on a personal relationship level where he took my jokes as jokes. He took them personal. But when I said what I said about Scott Boras, and this will come back around because we will talk about Belly before I get out of here, John took offense to it. But when I went back and listened to it, what I realized was, oh, this guy doesn't have any respect for me as a radio host. I went to school for communication, radio, and television. I went to school and took media law and media ethics and all of that. I chose not to be a pen pusher. I chose not to be a writer, a journalist. And that's where Pat McAfee is talking about these writers and journalists, they're entitled and they feel like there's this hard code of how you have to be. But we're in this time of, I'm on a live stream right now. This will get clipped and go to social media. And fan-made media, social media, is now mixed in with traditional media, where vloggers, live streamers, podcasters are getting credentials now, and they're in the mix. They feel like you're supposed to be a fan out there. Trust me, I remember sitting with Sweeney Murdy in the media area. You cannot wear Yankees gear. That's another reason why I never went up there, because when I go to Yankee Stadium, I wear a logo. I declare that I'm a Yankee fan. If I see somebody without a Yankee logo on, I look at them sideways. Why are you not declared? But in the media den, in the media area in Yankee Stadium, it's a freaking library. You're not supposed to root for the team there. The likes of Bob Clappish, legend. Jeff Passan, legend. Brian Hoke, legend. Those guys are in there. Great friends of mine that I've run into. Not great friends. Hoke, yes. Passan, yes. Bob, I've met in passing. But guys that have been great to me and gracious to me, Brendan Cuddy, Max Goodman, Chris Kirshner. But then guys like Joel Sherman and John Heyman, you can tell they are the old guard, and they feel like because they had to put their time in, that they are up here, and I guess the John Boys of the world, or maybe Hubs from Barstool, or a Jared Carabas, guys like that, they feel like they don't belong. There was an issue with the kid from Cespedes Barbecue. I always forget his name. I remember, he reported something that was said in the Phillies locker room, and people had an issue with that. Well, get over it, because it's not changing. It's not going back. And what I'll tell you is, we are in 2026, and sports is covered by people that did not go to school, did not graduate with degrees, didn't go to Fordham or Syracuse or wherever else, did not study journalism, and they have just as much of a right to cover the sport and ask questions and reach their audience, and sometimes hitting a larger audience than you. You know, I remember doing a stream when the Pete Alonso news broke, and I remember laughing because I was live at the same time the New York Post was live, and I'm like, there are more people watching my live than are watching John Heyman and Joel Sherman right now. And I'm not trying to make it a me versus them thing, but it's my personal example that I have seen in the media. They do not want us content creators, podcasters, live streamers, even if you're someone like me that does have a communication degree, they don't want us in the mix with them. They're old, though. They're going to age out, and there will be more of the young, innovative people that have motion online, and there will be probably some more stuff like this. And it's funny because Lynn Jones doesn't fall into that category. She's just a woman who has been in the game so long, and she felt like, hey, I'm going to use this opportunity to uplift this guy, because he was literally like emotional. I don't want to say he was crying, but you know, I have no issue with this. It's one thing. It's one question. Everybody got to the questions about abandoning the run, not kicking field goals, going to the pass. Like, it is what it is, bro. But like, I wanted to weigh in on my experience as a credentialed media member and the looks that I've gotten for what I've worn, or like I've gone in there without a MacBook. I don't need to type. I can sit in the media area, watch the Yankee game, get in my car, drive to WFAN, and do my show off of what I saw. You write your articles, but we're all not the same. We're all not covering the game the same way. And the way that we reach fans has evolved so much. People got to come off that. I really hope that the media uses this as a way to just kind of like chill the F out. As a matter of fact, let's play Pat McAfee now and what he had to say, because Pat McAfee can say it a lot better than me, because he is a juggernaut. He is gigantic as far as somebody covering sports and doing it in his own way.
I appreciate Liam Cohen's process.
How you doing today? Lynn Jones, Jacksonville Free Press News. I just want to tell you congratulations on your success, young man.
Thank
you.
you.
Hold your head up, all right? You guys have had a most magnificent season.
Thank
you. And you did a great job out there today.
Appreciate
so you
it.
just hold your head up, okay?
Thank
and
you,
ladies
ma'am.
and gentlemen, Duval, you the one, all
Thank
right?
you, ma'am.
keep it going. We got another season, okay?
I appreciate
Take
it.
care and much continued success to you and the entire team.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hell yeah. Lynn Jones, Jacksonville Free Press, 27 seconds. Just to let Liam Cohen know. Probably somebody that's been around for a little bit and just saying, hey, nobody expects you to do that this year. You should hold your head up high. We appreciate you here in this city. Just want to let you know you did a good job this year. We appreciate you. 27 seconds. And then everybody in the sports journalism world say, this is out of line. We got deadlines. What's your deadline? A tweet? What are we even talking about now in 2026? But a positive, hey, you did good for us this year. We appreciate you. For 27 seconds, can't have it. What a weird thing to come out publicly and say, this is disgusting. Who do you think you are to say that you think that's disgusting and it matters? Like, that is a crazy thing about the sports media.
Sorry, I was muted, but Pat went on to write more about it. And yeah, I echo what he had to say. Like, what a weird place we're in, where these crab-ass journalists that think they're better than other people say, whoa, this is out of bounds. There's no place for this. No, there is a place for kindness and respect, and leading with that first before you rip the guy who's already feeling terrible, because not like Ben Johnson, right? Him and Ben Johnson, first-year head coaches, get to host playoff games. Ben Johnson gets the victory. Ben Johnson can go out there, dodge a handshake, fall on the ground, and yell F the Packers, and he's good. And, Liam Cohen is in the middle of, Lynn Jones giving him some love. But there's no such publicity as bad publicity. Moving on, I think that was great. And I just wanted to weigh in as a credentialed media member myself, someone who is a disruptor and has been looked at as like, you don't belong here. Yeah, sure I do. There's a bunch of people watching my stories, watching my content that want to see how I cover the game. And there's going to be a ton of people listening to my show after that want my perspective. I don't know how many of those people are going through the paywall to read your article the next day. So miss me with all of that. My guy, Karan, Corporate Keith, once upon a time I did have a corporate job. I was destined to get out of it. But, every now and then I can throw the suit on, and dress it up. Jack and Cheese. After Oregon IU, I feel like the gap between Mendoza to Moore is the same as Lawrence to Wilson and Fields. I'm not on that, brother. But let's go IU. Let's go Kurt Signetti, former JMU coach that helped JMU go all the way D1. I'm always rooting for him. Aaron Rodgers, back it up, coming from a Jets fan. Pack it up. Who you got in the Super Bowl? Seahawks, Patriots. If you are familiar with Gordon Damer from WFAN, Gordon just did a podcast featuring me. So go look up the Gordon Damer podcast. I gave my prediction there, and I'm sticking with it. Are you still an NFL free agent? Yes. And I plan to stay an NFL free agent. I feel like people want to force me back into being a Dallas Cowboys fan, but now I feel like there's no going back. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you ditch the team, you abandon the team, it's been 2 years, and you've been a free agent, you stay a free agent until you're ready to pick your next team. And I'm not going to pick my next team until my son declares. So, yeah, I'm an NFL free agent. Great show. Go IU. Let's continue the show. One stream, 1 hour, one take from each NFL wildcard game. We have hit the Rams-Panthers, and we have hit the Packers-Bears, the Bills-Jags. Let's roll now into the Niners and the Eagles. Oh, boy, did I love the finish of that game, because it seemed like the Eagles were just going to slow roll that game. The Niners were banged up, but you know what? Didn't matter. Right here, that's the guy. No Fred Warner, no Nick Bosa, no George Kittle. George Kittle goes down in the beginning of the game. No Michael Williams, no Ricky Pearsall, no Brandon Ayuk all year. Using backups. Kyle Shanahan, Coach of the Year. Kyle Shanahan, Coach of the Year. Kyle Shanahan. Say it again, folks. Kyle Shanahan, Coach of the Year. I'm going to put that banner up. Kyle Shanahan, Coach of the Year, if you ask me, because his guys did not quit. He won games with Mac Jones, and I absolutely loved the ending to that game on Sunday, because they flashed a stat. The Eagles had the ball. They were going down to go get the winning touchdown, and they flashed a stat that all of the teams in the wild card round that were trailing at the 2-minute mark went on to win. So it was like foreshadowing, like, they got this. They're going to do it. A.J. Brown, you the man, A.J. Brown. In my video I put out, A.J. Brown, Doo-Doo Brown, you are the man because of the self-sabotaging you did this year for the Eagles. I absolutely love it as an Eagles hater. So go Birds, dickheads. They're done. And I felt like their fans needed to be absolutely humbled, and they were. At home, the Eagles are out. The defending champs will not repeat. And they just fired their offensive coordinator. You knew that was coming, right? You knew they were going to fire Kevin Patullo. I don't even need to bring that up because we're running out of time here. So I want to kind of pick up the pace here. One take from each NFL game, 1 hour stream. Now Niners and Eagles is done. Let's go to the Chargers and the Patriots. You knew the Chargers were cooked, flying across the country to Foxborough. All of a sudden, Mike Vrabel, Drake May, those guys, it's like, wow, it didn't take too long, but winning organizations stay winning organizations for a reason. Winning organizations stay on top because they know the formula, they know what it takes, and they know what to do. Justin Herbert in his 3 career playoff games choked a 27-0 lead to the Jacksonville Jaguars. That was classic. I actually had money on that. Threw 4 interceptions against the Houston Texans. Yeah, that was a bad one last year. Only scored 3 points against the New England Patriots. Most coddled player in the league that never gets criticized for being the worst QB in January. That's because his girlfriend is sexy, because he dates Madison Beer, because he's 6'5", 230, rocket arm, all this. Like, this guy gets treated like he's a top 5, top 10 quarterback every year based off of what? Based off of what, yo? What are we talking about, bro? Justin Herbert, I know he was under pressure. I know, the offense did not get anything going. He's got Kamani Vidal as his lead running back, and his receivers, like, they're still rolling old man Keenan Allen out there and Quentin Johnson and Lab McConkey. But 3 points in the playoffs? You flew all the way across the country to score 3 points in the playoffs, man? Shame. So my biggest take from that game is don't let that be Dak. Dak doesn't get any of the love. Dak been doing it consistently for 11 years, 10 years. And Justin Herbert gets crowned every single year as one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. Based off what, bro? Based off what, bro? Oh, and I almost forgot this for the Niners. Fred might be back. Demon might be back. So as I said, Kyle Shanahan, coach of the year, if Fred Warner comes back, it's not going to matter. But, that's one of the big dogs. That's one of the guys that they need. Let's keep it rolling faster. I already put that up. I got less than 20 minutes here. I'll hit the chat real quick, and then we'll keep it rolling. One stream, 1 hour, one take from each NFL wildcard game. Karan says, I'm rooting for the Texans. I don't think they can do it. CJ Stroud, he was looking like a bum last night. I don't think they can do it. I hope Moore has a good combine, something to help his stock for the Jets, but wish it was a shootout. Yeah, I'm not focused on that right now. We got plenty of time to talk about Dante Moore, the Jets, all that. Can Kyle win the big game? No. But he can win Coach of the Year. Hello, Pam. Anytime Philly takes an L is a great day. Nah, for real. Like, that made my day Sunday night. Ray is back. Ray, hopefully you had a good dinner. You are right that media is changing, but media relations heavily enforces the rules. She was saying Duval in the presser. If I said, let's go Mets during a presser, my credential would be revoked. Yeah, but it's different, right? What I'll say about that is, like, that is the culture down there in that community. Liam Cohen made a lot of people happy in that community. So I get it, let the fans cheer, but like I could hear it in her tone that she's been around there and she said, Duval, you the one. This is their coach. They found their coach. But I get it. It's a blurred line, but I just don't think it's as criminal and as bad as people are making it seem. Also for Coach of the Year, I think the NFC West is also the toughest division. Yes, it's got 3 playoff teams that are still alive. So that is another thing to, put on a cherry on the top with Kyle Shanahan. Chargers looked like they were on life support. They couldn't get anything going. And, I mean, the Patriots tried to give him the ball. Right. Herbert's got a great arm. So did Jamarcus Russell. Sending an invite to my Super Bowl party. I'm going to be right here with my baby. I don't know when I've gone out for the Super Bowl in recent times since my son has been born. I'll be watching it right here. But appreciate you, bro. 49ers fix Darnold. Maybe there's a chance Mac Jones has another level in him under Kyle Shanahan. The Jets won't be the place to fix him. Started fixing, I guess, it really was the Vikings. I mean, Sam Darnold, he was with the Panthers. He was with the Vikings, 49ers. But he was always a good quarterback that just needed some help and some seasoning. The Jets are a place where quarterbacks go to die. Nice outfit, my brother. Stay tuned if you follow me on Instagram, Twitter. I'm going to Bernie Williams' show tonight, and hopefully I'll get some content up from there. Let's keep it rolling here with these, last takes and whatnot. So we hit the Patriots Chargers game, and I already mentioned C.J. Stroud was lucky. He was turning the ball over. That defense is tough as hell. Let's go to this. Aaron Rodgers is done. Pack it up, King. That's it. That's it, bro. We don't want to hear nothing from you. But I don't think he's going to go out like this. But I love that this was his last throw. I absolutely love that Aaron Rodgers' last throw in the NFL. Let's bring it back.
Continue to coach. If he's let go, there'll be a lot of suitors knocking on his door for that as well.
Picked off. Terrible throw.
Interception for good measure.
For points.
It's picked off by
to the crib.
And Rodgers is in his way, trying to make the tackle. Can't.
Touchdown.
And it's a touchdown, Texas.
And then he just sat his ass on the bench. Then he just took himself out of the game. This guy, like the way that he presents, he's like an old curmudgeon. He's a get off my lawn old man that needs to get up out the NFL. He no longer has the ability to extend plays. He points the finger at everyone else. And you know what he's going to do now? The Steelers aren't going to bring him back. I mean, they didn't even bring Mike Tomlin back. We'll hit Mike Tomlin quickly here. And that's all my takes for the wild card games. But Aaron Rodgers is going to probably drag this out for attention. And Aaron Rodgers is probably going to hang out And I was listening to, I forget who I was listening to today. They're talking about after we saw Phillip Rivers at 44 and Joe Flacco at 39, these guys come back and play. Aaron Rodgers is going to sit at home and wait for a quarterback to go down, and then he'll pop back into the NFL that way. But anyway, here is the breaking news from today. Mike Tomlin informs the Steelers that he'll be stepping down as head coach after 19 seasons. Good, Mike. They didn't fire him. He stepped down. It was time. They've been, a lot of the Sixburg fans have been calling for his head because they've been absolutely mid. They have been so mid for so long. After a while, it's like, it's not working. I guess same thing in Baltimore. Like it's one, and like there's so many tiers in the NFL, right? I think it's hilarious that Zach Taylor is the only coach that survived the AFC North. They should have definitely fired him, but there's tiers, right? Because even like the Jets, Aaron Glenn is still coaching. You can be good and compete, but if the standard is winning it all and you're not competing for Super Bowls, it's not good enough. So they had to get him up out of there. Mike Tomlin is officially done. But like I said earlier in the stream, I don't expect Tomlin to just start interviewing with the Giants or the Titans or the Falcons. I think he's going to take a year off, maybe do TV like Sean Payton, and then reassess and see where things are at. Now, speaking of the Giants and the Giants job, Eli Manning and Brian Daboll are among the voices who have called Harbaugh to give him a strong recommendation on Jackson Dart and the Giants. Daboll showing some class here. Good for him. Of course, because you know what? Dart is Daboll's guy, not Joe Shane's, not the Giants. Dart is Daboll's guy. That is his quarterback that he went to get. In his time as a head coach, he got to draft one quarterback, and that was the guy. He developed him. He started him. Brian Daboll gets credit for that. And, of course, Eli, Ole Miss connection, he's going to endorse him. But John Mara doesn't need any endorsements from these guys, or he doesn't need any like recruiting advice or any, one-overs. Here's the thing. Giants co-owner John Mara was among many New York Giants executives in direct contact today with John Harbaugh's camp. Despite his cancer fight, Mara has been putting in the work, engaging in all in-person interviews in New Jersey, and working the phones on Harbaugh today. He wants this one badly. John Mara is fighting cancer, and there are a lot of us, myself included, that said that's not an excuse. There are a lot of us that said, hey, this is the business. This is a $10 billion business. And you got to get this right. And since you didn't want to fire Joe Shane, you can't leave it just to him. They're putting the full-on blitz on John Harbaugh. They are the favorites to get John Harbaugh. And I believe they will. I believe that they will. I believe that John Harbaugh wants to go there. And I believe that it's going to happen. Just give me 1 second here. Give me 1 second here. All right. I don't know what it is. If my mom is watching, I don't know what it is, yo. I get like the allergies. I get the itchy nose. I got to blow my nose. It might be the lighting. It might be a performance type of thing. It might be just, I have no idea. It's one of those things I'm like, once I get on camera and I get rolling into my notes and into the show, I'm like, I can't stop scratching my nose. I can't stop blowing my nose. Let's bring it home. 9 minutes here. 9 minutes here. I can bring the Be Right Back off. And I do see we got a super chat. Karam, my man, with a super sticker. Bang, bang, bang. Appreciate the love. I appreciate the love. $4.99. This account is monetized. This page does make me money. This is not my end-all, be-all. This is not my job. I don't even tell people to subscribe, and I haven't launched an official show. You know why? Because that time will come. I'm young in the game. I'm young in this industry. I don't plan on hanging it up anytime soon. You could hear me on the radio very soon again. You could hear me on TV, see me on TV very soon again. You could see me streaming on somebody's platform. I'm having all of those conversations. And what I'll say is KM to AM, as you saw that banner up there, briefly, bang, 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 bang. KM to AM, my nighttime show on WFAN is done, but I'm not finished. I can be back for some fill-in time on WFAN, but I have a resume. I have now 4 years of radio experience. I have a following. I have a network. And that's why I say I'm extremely blessed with just things that have come across the table for me. YouTube is not my end-all, be-all, but we appreciate donations from people like my guy, KP. All right, let's finish the show, man. I'm running out of time. Okay, so from John Mara and the Giants, let's talk a little baseball with this last 5 minutes, and then we'll wrap with the chat. Breaking news today, Nolan Arenado. The Diamondbacks are acquiring 8-time All-Star Nolan Arenado in a trade with the Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals, no, the St. Louis Cardinals. Arenado has agreed to waive his no-trade clause, and the deal is done. Here are the terms. The Diamondbacks receive Nolan Arenado and cash considerations. The Cardinals receive right-handed pitcher Jack Martinez. Nolan Arenado, he was supposed to be traded for the last 3 seasons. He's up there in age. He was making a ton of money. The Yankees weren't interested, clearly. And I know Yankee fans for the last 2 seasons, go get Nolan Arenado. They were not gonna. They end up getting Ryan McMahon. This does nothing for me. I do not care. All I will say is clearly, the Diamondbacks, who had conversations around Ketel Marte and moving him, they're not moving him, and they actually make a move for Nolan Arenado. I'm interested to see if they try and bring back Zach Gallen and what else they have up their sleeves. Other reports out there, Kyle Tucker, what? The Mets have offered Kyle Tucker a short-term contract worth $50 million per season. Okay, what does it mean? What does that mean? Kyle Tucker plays right field. Juan Soto plays right field. Juan Soto is a left-handed bat. Juan Soto and Kyle Tucker are very similar. Juan Soto's better, but you just paid Juan Soto $765 million, and now you're going to pay Kyle Tucker a short-term contract, $150 million per year for 4 years? Is that what it is? A $200 million contract for 4 years? Now, I still think that the Blue Jays could win it. I still think that the Dodgers could win it. But I think it's interesting that the Mets are willing to put up $50 million for a player at a position that they already have a similar comp in Juan Soto, and they wouldn't put up the money for Pete Alonso. They missed out on Edwin Diaz. They bring in Jorge Polanco and say he's going to play first base. I don't know. David Stearns is doing his own things here. It is what it is. Not really any of my business, but that came out in the news today, and I'm like, maybe this is Steve Cohen saying, hey, I'm still rich. Hey, if this guy is the best player out there and he's lingering out there, offer him. We'll figure it out. He could play left or Soto could play left. Nimmo is gone. You know what I'm saying? Jeff McNeil, another guy who played the outfield for the Mets, is gone. Like, get him, offer him, because the Mets got to compete right away. And if they don't compete right away, it's going to get loud. But when you see Kyle Tucker get that offer, clearly they're not going after Cody Bellinger, right? A lot of us thought going into this offseason that the Mets and Yankees might be going at it again for the services of the left-handed outfielder that they traded for the year before. And according to Jim Bowden, Cody Bellinger is looking for a 7 to 8 year deal in the range of 100 or 210 to 250 million. This is coming from industry sources and has not been confirmed by clubs or the Boras Corporation. But yeah, when you do the math, right? If Cody is looking for a 7-year deal or a 6-year deal at 36 million or 37 million, let's say 36 million times 7, that's 250. $37 million times 6. I just think it's ridiculous. I'm done. I did my little video last week on it. Like Cody Bellinger, bro. Like, when did Cody Bellinger become 2019 Cody Bellinger again? He revitalized his career in New York, but like, he is not top of the market type pricing. Boris is trying to finesse, and I'm good on it, bro. They can pivot, and I know the Yankees want him back, but this is starting to get stupid. So let's wrap up with the chat, and then I've got to run. I got a hard out at 6, and my guy KP said goodbye, Aaron Rodgers. Goodbye. Happy trails. Pam is rooting for the Texans. I know she was rooting for them last night. Keith, have fun tonight, you and your wife. Wifey will not be with me. Wifey will be with my son. I will be solo for Dolo. Perfect. Let Tomlin take a year off, and then when AJ, that's the optimism of the Jets fans. Ultimately, when AG crashes out, you could see the two former AFC North coaches in MetLife, Harbaugh and Tomlin. Respect the hustle from Mara. Yeah, hey, because they got to get this right now. And it fell into their lap. No first-time coordinators. Go get an experienced head coach, and you've got a guy right there in Harbaugh that is a dream. Parcells holds much more weight if he were to call Harbaugh. I mean, Jackson Dart holds weight. The market holds weight. Like, Harbaugh is not done yet. It's an obvious place to go. Say what you say. Can't wait for opening day at Yankee Stadium. I know. Honestly, I have so many ideas for content and things at Yankee Stadium. No matter what the team is, we're going to turn up as fans. But it sucks that we're not thinking this team is a World Series caliber team. We're just excited to get back to the ballpark and hang out with each other. Best news was Bregman to the NL. I'm done hoping for the Yanks to make an infield move. Just hoping for pitching in Belly now. Yeah, it sucks too. That's what our offseason is. Looking at the other teams and like hoping that they miss out on players. AJ says the Mets are scrambling. Need to appease the fan base with that move. They need pitching more than Tucker. Dead on. You're 100% correct. They don't have the pitching. And Met fans know that. And some Met fans are mad that there's even an offer to Kyle Tucker at $50 million a year. It's redundant. You have Juan Soto. All right. Appreciate y'all, man. If you're on YouTube, hit like on the way out. If you watched on Instagram, I was not able to. I did stream this to Instagram, but I wasn't able to see the Instagram chat. But hopefully you enjoyed this hour. One stream, 1 hour, one take from the NFL wildcard game, and then we snuck in some different things from the NFL after. And you guys know how I end this, man. Stay blessed, stay up, and stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. I'm out.